Hello, fellow Minecraft addicts. Jarbo here. I am all shiny. I did pretty good. Again, just on the enchanting table. We haven't done any trading with villagers yet, so I got protection 4, respiration, unbreaking, and infinity on the helmet there. We got fire protection and unbreaking on the chest plate, protection 4 and unbreaking on our leggings, and depth strider, feather falling 4, and protection 4 on our boots. And then as far as tools go, we have an efficiency 4 unbreaking axe, and we're using that as our weapon too. I haven't tried to get a sword yet. I'm having a hard time with the levels thing. I got a solution for that, but I'm tired of the grind, so we'll get a sword later. Right now we'll just use the axe. We have silk touch, efficiency 5 unbreaking pick, silk touch, efficiency 4 shovel. And then in our backpack here, we've got efficiency 4 vein mining diamond axe, and that is really, really cool. And then we've got efficiency 5 unbreaking 3 vein mining fortune 3 pick, and that is also very, very cool. I also gathered a lot of resources. I really, really like these drawers. They make item storage so much better. I did get some more backpacks. I got a lapis backpack. I upgraded this one to diamond and put all my shiny stuff in it. While I was trying to get experience for enchanting, I was wearing this and it helped some. I did go ahead and take the iron golem skin off of 2 of the backpacks. I just have the 1 iron golem backpack and I'm using that for all of my create stuff. And then I just have some random stuff in both of these. And then in here, I got 3 other backpacks. And the way I got those is really cool, actually. I was down here and I was actually cleaning out or breaking skulk for the experience. This was all completely filled with skulk. This is deep dark, so I got all the catalyst broke and got rid of all the sensors and everything out of here and the shriekers and all that stuff, and then I was going this way and I fell down in this hole and suddenly started getting ate by skeletons. Well, if you look here, you can see the cobble. This is actually was a skeleton spawner that's on the bottom. And then while I was running away from the skeletons, I went up here, and I can't believe how close together these were, but I found 3 dungeons, 2 zombies, and the 1 skeleton, all really, really close to each other. And if you didn't know, part of the create mod is you can actually move spawners. With create, you have to use a minecart, but with the carry on mod, you could just pick them up the way I picked the villager up and carry them. So I moved all 3 of the spawners down here, and I was using that to gain experience so I could get my enchanting done, and it worked out pretty well. It is still fairly slow, but I was able to get all the tools that I wanted to. Over here, I ran into this viridium, and in this viridium mixed in, there was a whole bunch of andesite. Well, then I also really like the viridium block, so let me show you how the vein mining works. So with this pickaxe, if we go down here where we have some light, when you mine 1 block, well, here, we'll do this instead. So we got the 1 block of zinc there. That didn't work. There's only 1 there. So if we mine, get somewhere where we're not going to fall. Right there, and we still fell. It cleans this whole area out and puts it all right at your feet. So it makes gathering resources like this viridium very, very fast. I gathered a whole bunch of this stuff, and then I got all the andesite that I found. Somebody hasn't been doing a good job keeping the trees planted here, apparently. I wanted to take this opportunity to show you guys something that's pretty cool about the wrench. This is something that you need to craft if you're playing with these create contraptions kind of ASAP. All you have to do is right click, shift right click any of these create components, and they instantly go into your inventory. They don't fall as an item, they go straight into your inventory. So when you're working on this stuff, that makes life so much easier. A challenge at the very beginning because you do have to have a mechanical press in order to make gold sheets, but it's really not that big a deal. Right click on the bearing there. That will stop this, and when you stop it, it places it, and it did break all of our crops there, but that's okay. But go ahead and just take this all apart, and then we need to get the stuff in this chest. We should have enough room in our inventory, I think. Yep. And then we need to grab that and our water wheel. And now all of our farms are dismantled. I'll have to break it with my Silk Touch pickaxe. I know it's not the right tool and it's going to take forever, but so that we get our bookshelves back. Adrian apparently wasn't happy and ran away. I haven't seen him in, well, it's the 46th day now. I haven't seen him in probably 20 days. So I don't know if he got ate at night by a zombie or exactly what happened, but I came up from the mines and he was gone and I haven't seen him since, so he won't be in need of his cows. I got everything all packed up. I forgot to mention, when you break these storage drawers, they hold all the items inside of them. You can't access them while they're in your inventory, but all of our items are still inside there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start heading north. Hopefully I can find a horse. I do have a saddle and a lead and a fence post in case I need to stop somewhere. I'm just gonna head north and see what I find. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for a place to build, but when I get there, I think maybe I'll know. Well, the pillager towers sure have gotten an upgrade in this version of Minecraft. They, look at how fancy that tower looks. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. I managed to get the pillagers to shoot the bison, and he is taking care of the pillagers for us. I really like the look of this area right behind me here. We got the mountain range going around us. If we look, let me turn this around. We got the mountain range behind us here. Got some different tree types over there. Nice and flat. It'd be easy to build here. Looks like we got sheep, and I think I saw pigs, chickens. I think I even saw some cows recently. So we got everything that we should need to survive here. We'll just have to do a little bit of terraforming. We got raccoons and donkeys or mules, donkeys. Some really cool looking trees over here. There's some cows there. So this, I think, is where we are going to settle down. Yeah, as you can see by my coordinates over there, I'm almost 10,000 blocks away from where we were, or away from spawn, and I don't know how far away from spawn I was. So as you can see, clear down here is where here's where our little temporary base where we started our mining and stuff was. We went a very, very long way to get where we're at. I'm gonna get this set up, then we'll get ready to start building our workshop here. Well, there's our temporary little living accommodations, I guess you could say. And I've already kind of laid out what is gonna be the size of it. We may have to change this as we start to put different things in there. I'm gonna go sleep while the lightning is going so that I can get rid of the rain. Alright, now that the rain's gone, we'll go out here and look at this. So this is kind of my... I haven't decided. I might make this a little bit smaller because it doesn't need to be that big just to hold our beginning create items. It's gonna have a little bit of storage, but it's not gonna be like our main storage area. So I might actually make this a little bit smaller. There's the basic shape of what I'm thinking. I did extend this. I said I was gonna make it smaller and I actually made it bigger. I extended it by 1 block this way and 1 block that way. I don't know if I like the texture. I thought I liked the texture of these bundled oak logs until I put all these out here. I really don't think I'm gonna leave that. I think I'm gonna change that to something different. But that's one thing that's kind of cool about the chipped mod and these chipped workbenches is you can change. You're not stuck. Once you make something, you're not stuck with that. You can put it back in here. We can turn those back into regular oak logs if we want to, or we can change them to something different. I might try these reinforced oak logs. Maybe I'll do those on the pillars, the uprights, and then do something different like the nailed oak logs. I really don't, it's hard to see what these look like sometimes. Oh yes, it's got the nails there. Kind of like that one too. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to go ahead and figure that out. And once I get the frame completely built out, I'll bring you guys back and show you kind of what I decided on. I'm not real sure about that green block. Maybe if it was... I'm gonna I'm gonna make some of the framed blocks, and basically what they allow you to get the same texture in different shapes that aren't available through, you know, normal crafting channels. Maybe if this wasn't so flat, we'll punch out some windows. I'm gonna play with this a little bit. At this exact moment, I don't love the green. I think that's much better. Just adding a little bit of, there's not a lot of options for blocks to texturize the green. It's Viridium. But I'm pretty happy with how that looks this time. Okay, I'm not sure about the windmill blades. That looked a lot better in my mind than it turned out in reality. But for now, it's working. It's kind of ugly. It doesn't look like I thought it was gonna look when I was building it. But we got our windmill in. It's gonna work for right now. It is powering our create tools in here. We have our mill set up, and I put a bunch of gears or cogs, large and small, up there to really speed this up so that we don't have to wait forever for this stuff to happen. But we've got our mill here, and I just use regular hoppers because that was easier for just a single station, and we don't have to try to manually feed stuff in here. So if we want to mill a stack of wheat into mill flour, I don't know what it is. If we want to mill a stack of wheat or whatever, we can just throw the whole thing in there and it'll come out in this down here. I tested it to make sure it would work with a little bit of sea pickles. We got some lime dye. Here we have a mixer. There's space for a blaze burner under there, but I haven't been in there yet. We've got our mechanical press with a depot for making sheets, iron sheets, gold sheets, copper sheets, brass sheets, you know, sheets. And then here we have our mechanical press with a base here for a deployer, but we don't have one yet. So once we get one, we can put that here, and then we can use that to begin making some of our fancier stuff. Here we have a mechanical fan blowing down onto this depot so that we can bulk smelt. Sort of. It'll do a stack at a time now, which is way faster than a furnace. I just made a small batch of the 2x2 drawers for over here. We'll probably put some more in here. And there's our little starter workshop all completed. I don't know that I love the roof. I struggle with roofs. It's looking pretty good. I like the little path that goes around it. The stairs to get in there work pretty good. Now we can go ahead and use this workshop to make the create components we need, specifically drills. Alright, now that we have an area dug out to make our mine shaft, it's time to go ahead and put these drills down. If you crouch, they'll place the right way. Once you place the first one, you can just branch off of it. And we're gonna go, and if you mess up, you can always use the wrench to turn it. So we're gonna do 8x8. I'm just gonna fill all this in with drills. And we'll have to, you saw I made some super glue. We'll have to use that to go ahead and glue this all together, but first we're gonna have to put some storage on it. And for storage, we're just gonna use, actually we'll go ahead and glue the drills together first. If we just go like that, those are all drilled together, and then we can take and we'll just put 8 double chests on here for there. And because it's 8x8, our rope pulley is not going to come down directly in the center because the center is between blocks, but it doesn't matter. It can be offset. It can actually be all the way to the side if you want. And we might actually do that just for ease of running this down. Alright, all of our chests are glued on, so our drill contraption is pretty much done. All we have to do now is make a way to power it. Okay, now with some water in our hand, we can go ahead and place our water bucket right there. And that'll get our water wheel spinning. We're gonna need a couple of shafts and our rope pulley, and we should be able to just stand right here, place a shaft there, and place a rope pulley there, and it starts going down. Now as soon as this comes in contact, it'll automatically stick to our contraption, and then it should start drilling and storing all of the blocks that it drills in our chests here. And then it'll go down, and it should just keep going. So we're just gonna hop off here before this goes too deep and just let that drill all the way to bedrock. I've been going through the create items preparing for our next build, and our boring machine has made it all the way to the bottom. So I want to try something here. We're going to take this shaft out, and we're going to put this gear shift in here. And what we should be able to do is, if we put a redstone signal to this, which we're just going to use the latch because I crafted them. And the way this should work, so this is a power toggle latch. So every time it gets a redstone signal on this side, it'll switch the output on and then off. But the gear shift, when we put power to it, we should be able to do manually. Yep, it's going to come back up. So we're going to go over here and we're going to sleep. And then we're going to wait for that to come back up. We're going to look in the chest and see what we got, and then we have to take all that back apart because we're done with it. Well, we disabled our rope pulley, and our machine is all the way, our contraption is all the way back to the top. And we go ahead and look in the chest. We got quite a bit of cobblestone, some coal, nothing in there. Apparently we had more chests than we needed. I didn't know how much it was going to take. Deep slate, some tuff, more cobble, deep slate, more tuff, some gold. Ooh, we got a few diamonds, some redstone, some iron, copper, zinc, and more cobblestone and deep slate. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all transferred back over there and take it apart. One thing to note, when you take contraptions apart, if you super glued them, make sure you break the super glue. You can do that just by right clicking, holding shift, and left clicking. I'm sorry. And that'll take all the super glue off. Otherwise, you'll have super glue lingering in the world here, and it can cause problems, especially if you're going to move things in the future. Like, we plan to build an elevator here, but in order to get elevator pulley, we're going to have to go to the nether and get a blaze burner so we can make brass first. So for right now, we're just going to figure out a different way to get all the way down to the bottom, because it's a long way down there. Before we head down in the mine and actually start trying to tunnel out and do, you know, the create version of branch mining, which is like destroying the world in every direction, huge tunnels at a time, we need to go ahead and build us a farm. We're gonna kind of do the farm like we did for the crops at our first starting location, but we're gonna do it much better. I'm still working off of this block palette right here, and mostly, if you look at the numbers, that's cobblestone, deep slate variants, tuff, and oak. So not gonna probably be a very interesting looking build. Our crop farm is working, so I'll just stand here for a minute and we'll kind of watch it and see what it does. It moves slow, but it doesn't need to move very fast because crops don't grow very fast. So this is pretty similar to a flushing farm that I used to build in Bedrock Edition, but you had to manually replant that, and this will replant itself. You can see right now included a portable storage interface so that it unloads itself as it goes back and then goes onto that belt, and it's just going into the cliff over there and going up into our little starter area where we have a chest for all this stuff. I did a gantry system. We'll show you that on this side. It's just a gantry rail and this gantry carriage, and then you build your contraption on top of the gantry carriage. This is sticky on the top, so as soon as it starts moving, it attaches to this, and then all that is just super glued together. Some things that I did figure out along the way are you have to have the machine has to turn around down here over the logs, or it'll break all of the farmland blocks. It also has to turn around on this end over logs. If you look down here on the bottom, I have a redstone contact glued to the bottom of our contraption, and then I have a second one, or a second and third one, on either end of our farm here. So when it gets all the way to this end, which it'll go in just a minute, you'll see it'll light up that redstone contact. And then what's going on underneath is I just used a powered latch over here. It's a powered toggle latch, which when it gets a signal on that side right there with that little light, it switches the switch and either puts out or turns off redstone power. And then I've got it faced into this block, which that's going to this gear shift, And this gear shift, when it's powered, it goes one direction. When it's not powered, it goes the other direction. So that's how this is going back and forth. And I hid all of the redstone underneath the farm just because it was easier, to be honest. It was simpler to run it under here than it was to try to put it somewhere else. So one redstone contact goes there, and it runs over here. I don't know if it might have made it, but I just used a repeater because they're cheap, really. And you see it toggled for just a second while it was lined up on that end and went all the way through. And then when it gets to this end, it'll do the same thing. That redstone contact there will light up this side, and it'll switch the switch back. And it just goes back and forth, nice and slow, and the crops grow, and as they grow, they get harvested, and the sugar cane grows, and as it grows, it gets cut down. And I set that up so it remains one tall on the sugar cane on the sides all the time. And then the belt just runs in here, runs up here, runs into this funnel, and puts all the stuff into our storage chest here. And to be honest, we'll probably throw a lot of the seeds away. The rest of the stuff is what we're really after, but we don't need to worry about that for a while. It's going to take a while to fill this double chest up. Now, I want to build a contraption that we can go all the way to the bottom of the world and start strip mining in order to be able to get our drill or our boring machine set up. The first thing we need to do is we need to go to the nether so that we can get the stuff to make brass. Alright, there's our portal all built. Let's go through here and hope for a really good spawn. I'm hoping for a warped forest. Oh no, nether waste. Well, it's not the worst spawn we could have got. So we need, in order to make our blaze or brass, we're gonna need to find blazes to make blaze burners. And being as we don't have anything that looks like a nether fortress anywhere on the map here, we spawned in at around Y90. I think what we're gonna do is look to see if we can find a place to tunnel up into the top of the nether, and then we'll just dig a path one way or the other, probably going towards this warped forest over here, and we'll try to find a fortress so we can get the blazes that we need for our blaze burner. And I just realized I forgot to bring the stuff to make the empty blaze cages, so I'm gonna have to go back and get that, and then we'll come back through and tunnel up to the roof of the nether and make a path to wherever our fortress is at. This is so much better than hand cranking the mechanical press to get iron sheets. Okay, so with 16 blaze burners, now we can go back, or blaze cages, we can go back and start our tunnel into the nether roof so that we can find a fortress. Well, we haven't gone too far. Now if we open up our map and we look right over here, we can see that there, I think we probably could have seen this fortress. I had the map on the wrong level, but we can see that there's a fortress right here, and it looks like if we just tunnel this way, we should be able to dig down and end up right in the fortress so that we don't have to explore any of the actual nether, because I hate the nether, and I'm not very good at it, and I don't want to die. And so yeah, we're gonna just tunnel over here. We'll get to somewhere around here and we'll start heading down and see if we can get into this fortress and find the blazes that we need and get out of here without having to come back 15 times and get our stuff because we keep dying. Okay, well, I guess I wasn't recording that, but I managed to get, well, wrong button. I managed to get a whole bunch of netherrack, 16 blaze burners, and 3 and just a tiny bit stacks of nether quartz. I basically did the fortress the, I don't know, sissy way. I put up noob bars everywhere and just slowly worked my way through it till I found a blaze spawner, and then filled up all my blaze burners off the blaze spawner, and then I quickly ran out as fast as I could and back to my portal. Along the way I found a little bit of quartz, and then I just explored right around the portal and found some quartz and used my vein pick to fortune it all out. So we have lots of quartz. Now I have to, I guess, make an upgrade for this drawer so that I can put all of my netherrack in that drawer. Okay, now that we have our blaze burner, we can throw that underneath our basin here. We can throw our copper and our zinc in the basin. Give the blaze way too much fuel there, and now it's making brass. We already have 16 ingots. Okay, so we have brass, but we're also going to need sand to make sandpaper so that we can make electron tubes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go find that. So I just came across these poor horses getting murdered down here by I guess that's a crocodile. I think we're gonna save the horses from the crocodile. Well, one of them anyway. Alright, we also found willow trees, which I haven't seen before, so maybe we'll have to stop and grab some of them on our way back. This snow leopard killed my horse. Well, I guess I'm walking all the way back, and it's a long ways. Okay, we found another horse, and we made it back just in time to sleep. While I was on my way back, I did manage to find a couple more different types of trees. I found willow trees. I found dark oak. I only got 6 saplings. I probably should have tried to grab more, but it's not that far away. And then I found blighted balsa sapling. It's kind of this, I don't know, almost like ice blue colored wood. It kind of neat looking. Anyway, back to our current project, which is brass stuff. So now we have our electron tubes, and they're just iron sheets and the polished rose quartz, and you just craft these up. And now we're mixing up a little bit more brass just because we're in the process of doing it. We might as well do a little more. And then we've got some stripped oak logs that we can go out here, and we're gonna have to make some brass casings. And you make them exactly the same as andesite casings, just use brass instead of andesite. In order to make a brass hand, we need one andesite alloy and 4 brass sheets. With 16 brass hands and 16 shafts, we should... Oh, and 16 brass casings. I guess that's not the recipe. I thought that was the recipe for a deployer. Let's see, what did I get wrong? Oh, it's andesite casings. We need 16 andesite casings. So we'll go ahead and throw our brass casings in there. Grab 16 of these. And now we have 16 deployers. So we can put one here so that our wall is complete. Well, that's not what we wanted to do. We want to flip it that way, and then we need to flip it that way. There we go. Now we have a deployer. Alright, so now we just need to figure out a way to get down to the bottom of our hole we bored. We need a iron sheet, dried kelp block, and a brass casing to make an elevator pulley. And then we're also going to need contraption controls. And that's andesite casing, electron tube, and a button. Now we can go find... I think I have enough kelp to make a dried kelp block, but I'm not sure. I didn't find much kelp on the way here. I hadn't really thought about it at this point yet. And let's see. We have 11 kelp. Well, we can start a kelp farm with 2. We'll go ahead and throw those in there, let them cook. And oh, we wasted coal. Oh, well, we could have cooked those in our mechanical fan setup. I'm so used to using the furnace for everything, I didn't even think about it. We can make our kelp block, and then we can make our elevator pulley. Then we just have to put together an elevator. Okay, I may have done quite a bit off camera. I kind of got carried away, and yeah, so we have This, I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not, but this is my support for my elevator. And then I built this elevator. I don't know how I feel about the colors. I kind of like the roof. Kind of reminds me of like, oh, it's like the culvert tubing, like the cheap metal that you see in garages and things like that. I like the look of that. I don't love the pillars that I used, but it is what it is. It works. And we can go all the way down to bedrock, and it's pretty fast too. So we can take this all the way down, and stops right here. And I may have built what I believe is going to be a really, really good drilling machine. So it's 8 by 8, so it'll drill out an 8 by 8 square. Just drills on the front, a little bit of andesite casing to attach everything together. It's going to spit out redstone blocks to power the rail, and then also put down rail. The blocks should keep it from being affected by water or lava. The 2 deployers here at the front will put down cobbled deep slate if there's an air block there. That way it'll always have something to place the rail and the redstone block onto. The plow will pick up the rail, and the drill will pick up the redstone blocks, and they'll get stored in here. We've got plenty of rail and redstone blocks in here to start with, and I turned it on just to see if it would drill, and it did. I needed to get some cobbled deep slate because I have silk touch, so I couldn't pick any up with my pickaxe. So now we just need to turn that on. That'll pick it up. Everything should be powered, and off to the races. I don't have any torches, so we're not going to follow it very far, but as you can see, it drills out a massive area. I'm going to spend some time drilling out the world.